Hello, everybody. All right. Welcome to this live. And you'll probably see the background's a bit different. Everything's a little bit different for this live because I'm in Bali and I was given the opportunity to come to Makali Temple Village. This place is so beautiful. And I'm just so grateful that I'm able to be in these places and to deliver stuff for you guys. I've got a lot of podcasts coming up. There's a lot of stuff happening with people here based in Indonesia, in Bali. I've got lots lined up back in Kuala Lumpur as well, also Dubai. So it's been an incredible start to Trauma to Success. I'm so grateful for everybody who wants to be involved, for the people who have reached out to me and said, hey, can I be on your podcast? I'm like honored, truly honored. That you'd want to be on my podcast, and of course I'm like, yes, let's arrange. So we've got a lot planned. I'm going to be in Bali for a few weeks, and we've probably got 6 or 7 episodes lined up, and then back in Kuala Lumpur, and then I may be in Dubai as well for some filming at the end of March, beginning of April. So lots of stuff happening. And yeah, just extremely grateful. Thank you so much, everybody. I've also been a little bit sick for a couple of days, so bear with me. I'm maybe 70% recovered, but I'm hoping that I'm going to be back to 100% tomorrow as I travel off to Bangkok for a shoot as well. So things are full go, full throttle, and what a great response we had from episode 3. Had a lot of people reach out to us. It was really incredible. The way that Coco shared her viewpoints, her ideas, the thoughts at which the young people are going through at this moment in their life. And I didn't realize, I guess I did realize, and it's kind of a weird thing because even though I'm 45 years old, I spend a lot of time with youngsters because of the shoots that we do and the talent industry and all this kind of thing. And I forget that it was actually it's been quite a tough upbringing in that way. Back when I was coming up in my teens, for example, like we didn't have social media, so there was nothing to do apart from get out, play football, or go and see your friends or something. But, since social media came along, it's literally been everybody's life, right? And they've grown up in this life, and it was just so nice to get the insight from Coco about what people are going through. And I really genuinely feel that this is such a powerful subject and something that we all need to be aware of because, the future is the Gen Z and the Gen Alpha. I mean, even just getting into the Gen Alpha kind of conversation just opens up a whole new ball game. And when I think about if you're a psychologist right now and you put your whole life into figuring out what happened to Gen Z and Gen Alpha, you're going to be a very successful psychiatrist and psychologist because they've been through a lot. And, people say a lot of things about social media and what it's done and how people live and their lives. And, I don't live that. At the end of the day, I'm part of it because I get to see and meet a lot of people. But I don't have to live through that life. And so it's really amazing when I get people like Coco coming onto the show and sharing what she's been through, sharing what her friends go through, not just the female, but the males as well. Really tough things that they've had to grow up through. And now all of this pressure is building, all of this intense pressure is there for them to succeed, be successful. Social media shows you how so many people are so successful and living these amazing lives. But, is it the truth? Is it the reality? Is it is it really the baseline of what people should be aiming towards? I don't know. And it's a tough subject. And look, if anybody's online at the moment with this live, please leave a comment. I'm here to look at. I'm looking now at the messages if anybody's coming on. I know this time is a bit off because usually I do it in the evenings when people are off work, but due to the fact that I have the villa available for me at this time, I've had to do the live now. And yeah, look, really please go and watch episode 3 because it really highlights the issues that people are facing, the younger generation facing now. And what it's done is it's also pushed into like even my generation and even just, you know, a decade younger than me in the 30s. You know, it's also playing a massive role with us because social media has become such a magnet, such a tool that we have to use it for our business, for our life, for the things that we're doing. And we can't get away from it, right? We cannot get away from it. And at least when we're a little bit older, like at my age, I can just say, do you know what? I'm not even that bothered about social media. I'm not even going to go down that road. But to be fair, excuse me. But to be fair, if I don't do that, then I miss out on opportunities. I miss out on connecting online. I miss out on my business growing. I miss out on connecting with people through social media this way. And so it is part of everybody's life. And I just feel like because we were a little bit older, we didn't have it growing up, that actually my generation is able to handle a few things and able to be a bit stronger. But if you imagine being, 12, 13, just at that age where you're growing and learning, that social media becomes the thing that you go back to. And look, there's so many things happening right now. I mean, if you go and watch Diary of a CEO, Stephen Bartlett is really homing in on what social media is doing for people. And he is really like launching an attack in a way against the big corporations that have built these social media platforms. Because he also believes that it's really changing the dynamics of who we are as humans and how we interact and the things that we do together and how we perceive each other. And, I think even now there's this court hearing where there was literally evidence of them manipulating so that it was proven they were manipulating people to make it addictive. And so you imagine at that ripe age of where everything is the thing that you're learning, that social media is what you see and what you grow up with, that of course it's going to have an effect. And, I just admire the Gen Z at the moment because they have amazing ideas, they have amazing scope of thought and process. They are very emotionally connected, or a lot more than what my generation was at that age, 17, 18, 20 years old, we wouldn't even be that kind of emotional with our friends. Everything was quite strict. Whereas now they open up, they talk about things, they are connecting with each other. And yeah, they're connecting differently to what we did, but they're doing it. And they're being aware of this balance of life. And sometimes it's tough, and sometimes, it's really playing a toll on them. And I just feel like we have a responsibility together to really highlight what's happening with social media and what's happening with people in general in order to make us feel a little bit more comfortable and confident with ourselves. Because let's face it, life is short. We want to be able to grow, to build up, to develop ourselves, to build this vision of life that we have. We all want the perfect life, but the perfect life doesn't exist. What we need to do is appreciate each other's skill sets. Understand that as an individual, we have an obligation to develop ourselves, to grow our skills, to communicate with people better, to support each other with each of our missions so that we can all develop and all grow as one. And Coco in episode 3, she really did highlight a lot of things, and I would really recommend that you go back and watch episode 3, because it really was something that was quite in an eye-opener, for the way that people are going through stuff. And we see a world right now that is quite fake. And Coco clearly states that as well when she's talking about it, because what they see and what people are seeing at that age is like all this perfect life, but it's online. It's the best versions of everybody's day that they're showing, and that's not reality, right? I mean, like even Coco said that she went on a trip and she's working for 10 hours, but then she spends half an hour on the beach, takes a video of her being on the beach, and now everybody thinks she's on holiday and that's all she's doing. But in actual fact, she spent 8 or 10 hours, working. And I think these are the things that we have to understand, right? Is that every single one of us is going through a lot. We are doing a lot of things, and nothing is perfect. Anything you see is not actually the reality. But then I also think that actually, let's just think about that. Why are people trying to make it look like things are perfect when we all know that things are not perfect? So why can't we all just be a little bit real with things and not just make things look perfect? Not just think that, if I show this, my life looks perfect, that actually then I'm going to get followers and people are going to think I'm amazing, and I'm going to make money from social media. Look, you can make money from social media, but in reality, you have to show value in a particular genre of work or job. You can't just make money from social media forever. I mean, there might be, again, like 1 or 2% of the population who make really good money from building up content, and then from that content they build businesses out of that. Yeah, that you can do, but they've already shown so much more value than just the social media posting. So I think that's what we have to shift in our mind, that stop showing so much perfection, start showing reality, start building yourself up into being valuable for other people. Begin to understand that to become successful, you have to show value in various different forms, and get on that journey, and that takes us into episode 4 as well, which is happening on Sunday with Emmanuel. And that's also such a great episode. I mean, I'm so grateful that all these amazing people have been part of Trauma to Success so far. From Ameta, Alexia, Coco, and now Emmanuel coming with episode 4 on Sunday. Very, very interesting individuals, amazing thought processes and sharings, and they've all been very honest and very open, and that's just a blessing. And so what Emmanuel says in episode 4 is real dedication, determination, focus, putting your energy in fully and showing value, right? And that's basically what his everyday terms are. And it's going to be amazing to see what you think about his episode this Sunday. And that then brings us back to, what Coco was talking about, is that people think that this life is just so simple and so easy, but they're not willing to put in the effort, or they're not willing to see the process that somebody went through. And she made a really good point about, you see somebody successful, but they weren't successful 4 years ago, right? They just started the journey to become the success that they are at that very moment. So if you're seeing that moment in 4 years, do you understand the process that they went through to get to that success level? And that's very important, because we only see the result. We don't see the action and the downs and the ups and the daily kind of dedication that's needed to get to that success level at a certain point. And we don't know if it's going to happen in 6 months, in 6 years, in 10 years, in 60 years, right? It's about having that determination to just be on your journey, and the success comes when it's there. And I thought that was very, very insightful from Coco when she talked about that, because I think a lot of people don't see that. A lot of people just think, do you know what? Excuse me. I still got a little bit of sickness. People see the end result, but are they really willing to put in the time and the energy and the dedication? And I do feel that if people see somebody being successful, but then it's like if they knew the steps that person has taken to get there, would they still be determined to do it? Would they have stood the test of time to get to that outcome if they knew the steps that person took and the sacrifices that it took and the things that they had to give up and the downs are always there, right? We only learn when things are tough. If everything's so easy, we don't get to learn, right? So, are people really understanding that? And that does not just go for Gen Z, it goes for every generation. I don't think that people in general are that determined. I think as a species, we're also quite lazy, right? I mean, we do the minimum to get the maximum. I don't blame us as a species. I mean, that's definitely saving energy, right? If you just do what you need to do to get the result. But unfortunately, with this day and age and the way that we are, we do need to put in extra effort. We do need to do extra things. We do to have a lifestyle that you as an individual want. And that depends on where you live, what you're doing for a living, what your family situation is. And I say this to my business partners all the time. Like if I had kids and a wife, there is no way that I would have been able to survive what I've survived for the business to be in the situation that it is, because I was literally living on, $100, $200 at a time. Which, if you have kids and a wife to care for and make sure they're comfortable, of course, it's not possible, right? So we make sacrifices, we make decisions, and I think that is what this comes down to. We look at the Gen Z generation, and a lot of people have said, oh, they're lazy, or they don't have enough grit or determination. But I'm like, do you know what? Like, they've seen so much and been through so much with social media addiction. Which it is, guys. Like, let's be honest. It is. They have built those apps to be addictive. That's pretty much it. And along with that, we also had COVID hit, which was a massive global, absolute craziness for so many people. And to try and comprehend how that affected people, you just can't. Now coming through that, the Gen Z have to figure out, well, what work do they do? How do they make money? What's the pressures for a guy, especially in his early 20s, to become so successful that, all the women want him? And then the women have just seen other ladies, either two ways. They become extremely highly motivated to become a business owner, or they become highly motivated to be with somebody who can look after them, right? And I also experienced that a lot myself, and it's a tough world. But I'm positive that what will come from this is a generation of people that are connected, are spiritually aware, are actually emotionally aware, and I think that creatively they will also expand up. They will expand us up as a species creatively, definitely. Some of the stuff that kids can do now, with technology is just insane. And so what I see for the future is that that's a very, very positive thing. And, yes, we've had issues with, like the title of episode 3 says, likes, followers, and burnout. Yeah, it's tough. We all get burnout. We've all been desperate for the likes and followers. We've all we've all been through this journey of just trying to figure out what social media is and how that's going to make us successful. You know, no longer from the industry's perspective as a talent does it matter about your photo shoots, but it also matters about your social media, how many followers you have. You become more valuable with followers. But then all of the time it takes to develop that content, gosh, every day it's exhausting, you know, to really put it out there. It's so exhausting, and I hold my hand up to the people who are doing it, and I just hope that they're taking just a little bit of time away from the social media, because, you know, if they're constantly developing content every day and trying to better it every day to make more followers, and then what if one video doesn't get enough likes or didn't get likes from the previous one? Do they feel negative? Do they feel less excited to develop content? Or was it just that the algorithms caused it to not connect in the same way as another video, which means that they are now in their brain, they're thinking, oh, shit, like, do people not want to see me anymore? So I do feel that this is a huge issue. And I just want people out there who are in that situation to don't stress too much about it. You know, do your content because you enjoy doing your content. And if you enjoy doing your content, the likelihood is that people also watching you will enjoy your content. Don't do it because you feel pressured. Don't do it because you're trying to look perfect. Don't do it because you want to get the likes and followers. Do it because you enjoy the sharings that you do, that you feel you are inspiring others. And with that, I feel that it will look genuine and will be genuine for people to connect with you. And I know that that's what Coco was talking about in episode 3, where, you know, it's like, take the time to really understand what you care about and focus on that content, on that genre, on the thing that you actually believe in, and share about it naturally. I think that's very important for us to move forward with this kind of era that we're in right now, because it is going to be tough. And I just want it to be a little bit more fun for people. I want it to be a little bit less emotionally draining, less physically draining. Don't take things too seriously with what you're doing, but just really enjoy the process of creation. Enjoy the work that you're doing. Enjoy the progress of your skill sets. And for me, it's always about you know, taking great video, being comfortable on video, understanding your body for photos, walking with confidence, speaking in a clear way, concise way, so that people can really connect to what you're saying. And yeah, you know, share about the things that you enjoy, and don't put so much pressure on yourselves. And so, look, I'm going to finish off right now. It's a shorter one today. I know the timing's been off, so there's been no real kind of live chat back and forth, so I'm sorry about that. But if you do end up watching this in the future, please put your comments on. If you're somebody who's struggling with social media, who's struggling with the constant pressure to become something, then please put your comments in there, and we'll basically get back to you when we can, because your voice and these conversations need to be talked about and opened up to help us all feel good, feel positive, and build towards a better longevity of career as a talent in this industry. So look, guys, thanks so much. Really appreciate all of the views, all of the subscriptions. Please subscribe, like, watch episode 4 upcoming. If you didn't watch episode 3, please watch that. Of course, go back to other episodes as well. I hope you really enjoy them. I'm going to be seeing you soon. Take care. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon on the next Talent Spotlight, Trauma to Success. See you guys.